Well, hey everyone, I'm back with another KOIN Conversation, and I've got Deb here of Choux Pastries, a phenomenal baker making one of my favorite desserts and little sweet treats, the macaron. And I met Deb at a fair around Portland, a market, the Portland Bazaar, and I just really needed to know more about your story and your baking and how you got into making these cute little treats. So, hi Deb, how you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Kelly. Thanks for bringing me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today. And again, I went to your booth and I saw such beautiful little cookies, like you can see here. And you're so skilled; they were tasty. I think I tried some spiced caramel flavor, and I just love the variety that you had. So let's start from the beginning. You make a lot of these now, but how did you get into making these macarons?
I'm originally from Chicago, and I attended the French pastry school off of Dearborn, downtown Chicago. It's owned by two French gentlemen. That's where I first originally took a leap and started really getting into the technical aspects. But otherwise, I was always baking since I was a kid, and the more complicated, unfortunately, the bigger challenge for me, the more inspiring. I just loved that challenging part of it, and I think that's what really steered me toward that French pastry school, and then even other things that I'm also doing now today. I continue to challenge myself with them.
Okay, so pastry school, that's amazing. You learn so much technique there. And
Mhm.
to be able to master what I think is one of the toughest cookies for like a home baker to make, it's just these macaroons. Well, first, can you describe exactly what a macaroon is? A
Sure.
macaron, and also how you pronounce these cookies because they're French, right?
They are a French cookie. You'll also find it coastally in Italy as well too,
Okay.
predominantly. So they are an almond-based cookie. The macaroons are only here in America, pronounced with two O's. So macaroon is the coconut cookie with two O's.
Right.
Macaron, which is what I'm making here, is almond-based, a little different. In the right environment, in the right bakeries, they are gluten-free. If you're in a bakery where they make other things, if you're celiac or have other intolerances, then they wouldn't be authentically gluten-free. But mine are in a dedicated gluten-free kitchen. So I have a lot of people with eating intolerances that do purchase from me because of that reason, and they get to enjoy a little bit of something sweet.
Yeah, the fact that they're made from almond flour, so that's kind of like almond meal, makes them gluten free. And in my days of trying to make these, I've probably attempted 6 or 7 times in the last several years, and I've only maybe once or twice been successful. So the technique with these cookies kind of just add that specialty, that value to the cookie when you can, see the foot and get the rise, and they're so light and perfectly sweet. So to me, it's like such a success when you actually get to make them. And I see you at the fair just making tons of these beautiful cookies. So I'm so impressed by you. For people who don't know much about them, can you kind of go into the technique of why these cookies are so different and so special?
So a lot of people do ask me that. They often think of it as a drop cookie because that's just what it's common here for America. It's just, hey, we make a drop cookie, we put it on a tray, we bake it for 10 minutes. But here it's very much all about technique. It's about that foot, like you mentioned, about the side of the cookie where it's got that rise part. And it needs to be perfect. So if it's lopsided or cracked or has any it's not a complete circle. People are like, well, like the one you're showing even right there, the lavender. It needs to be, and I'll tell you, my first 35,000 were probably experimental. Yeah.
35,000.
35,000. I tell people that and they're like, 35,000. I'm like, it truly was about 35,000.
Yeah.
I made almost 2 million since I've started in October 22. And I've challenged, I think it's just all about when you change a flavor, you have to be prepared for
Yeah.
what could happen, and then you have to keep things really stable. I have dedicated ovens. They all are temperature controlled. I watch all my humidity. It's all about practice, practice, practice with your piping, keeping it perfectly vertical. And then, um, good gosh. If it rains here in Portland, there's a whole nother, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a,
these cookies are just so touchy. They're so sensitive. And yeah, if you have any inclusions, maybe like a different powder, cocoa powder, or like even a food coloring, it can
oh
change the
my.
consistency. Yeah. So the few times that I've
Yeah.
tried with a different color, um, and I've almost spent like one weekend with like 2 or 3 days in a row attempting the same cookie and failed one or two times, So it's just it's so sensitive, and that's why I just love how you have so many creations. You make it look so easy. Um, so I,
If you have a mentor or someone that can be next to you or come in and
mhm.
evaluate your kitchen, and then stand literally over you, and you need to be in your own kitchen environment.
Yeah.
You take a class and you go home and you're like, why did that fail? It's because it's your kitchen and not
It's a
the
different
control.
humidity,
Yeah.
Yeah, all these are just they all matter. So where do you
Very.
bake your macaroons? Do you have a store, or is this like your own home area?
So at this time, I don't have a store,
Okay.
due to just the economic reality right now that's going
Yeah.
on. And I mean, it's not that it won't happen in the future, but I have an ODA, so Oregon Department of Agriculture inspected, for the state of Washington and for the state of Oregon. The inspected kitchen is a dedicated kitchen just for making macarons.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive. Well, it sure works because your macaroons are nearly flawless, every single picture I'm seeing. So, how do you come up with your flavor combinations or new flavors and ideas?
I really want to share, so I was super excited to talk to you about this one. So my latest and greatest is, and I had a recent trip. Actually, it's not too recent anymore. To Italy, the coast, and one of the flavors there is called Mont Blanc, and so I was like, I should make that into a macaron, and literally that's what I've just created within the last like 2 weeks. So it's my most recent.
Ooh.
I use a different piping tip to make it look authentically like a Mont Blanc, and it's just chestnut flavors. So I get the chestnut from that might be what you tasted at the European Bazaar is what you
Okay.
might have had. And it's piped differently to look like Mont Blanc, the Italian dessert, but it's put into a macaron. And then I use the chestnut like they use in Italy, but I put that in the middle and then the buttercream, and it's like, so I make it authentically what should be an Italian dessert. I'm like, hey, let's put it in a macaron, and it's so good. It's so good. And
That's amazing.
yeah, and that's really how I get inspired, is like I remember it from a trip, or I see a picture, or I'm looking through a magazine, or I'm looking at another bakery maybe. I spend some time like looking when I have time. Looking I have friends that are attended French pastry school that are still in Europe, and they're the ones that actually provide me with the info on to make my really, really good vegan macaron too, which is really great. That's a little bit harder than even a regular macaron. But I get all that inspiration from the people that I talk to, or I see something, and that's really lots of little small discussions that I hear from people. That'll
Yeah.
do it. That'll do
And
it.
then you put on your chemistry jacket and you get to work. Exactly.
So, because you know what, it's breathtaking how like just like okay, it's messy.
Yeah.
As much as you want to try to stay clean, it's like, oh no, it's
Yeah.
pretty messy. And this Christmas season, I'm going through about 125 pounds of almond flour even right now. So
Wow.
it's just all of the stuff and all of the materials are just kind of, yeah, it's messy and fast.
Yeah. You did mention a truffle macaron, which was specific to the Oregon area, right? Our black truffle. I want to hear about that story.
That is so fun. I am so proud. I'm so proud of that work that I did. And I really want to mention Charles Duff. He was the one that I had conversations with and was like, hey, I presented it to him. I'm like, hey, I'd really like to do a truffle macaron for you for Truffle Fest. And he was like, wow. He goes, it's, that'll be different. And he's like, the timing of that'll be weird because truffles have an aging process all to themselves the minute you pull it out of the ground versus macarons need that time. You don't
Yeah.
want a fresh macaron. You want a macaron that has matured, has a crunch on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. You want it like that. And so when I talking to Charles, he's like, well, this could be interesting. So hats off to them. They have Truffle Fest every February of every year. I encourage everyone to go out to Truffle Fest 2026. Try and get your tickets. It's so competitive to get a ticket, so worth it. Wonderful learning experience for all of it. You can train your dog to hunt for truffles.
Wow.
They're the ones that got me in a part of Truffle Fest. I created a white truffle infused goat cheese macaron with crystallized pear on that, and
Wow.
like really like that one. And the other one I that was really interesting for people is I infused in many different ways black truffle that's local, of course, to Portland, into salted caramel and truffle. Truffle in salted caramel will blow is so interesting. It's kind of
Uh-huh.
uh, earthy tasting and very very different. And they loved it. I so appreciate everything that Charles Duff and Truffle Fest provided for me. And that's what in March 2025. Then they were so. They referred me for the New York Times as well too. So I'm so um, happy to have everyone look up Truffle Fest 2026 and attend.
Yeah. What a cool story. So, how did the truffles taste? Were they more savory, or it was still a sweet note, but it had those flavors of these
Yeah.
Oregon truffles?
So that one with goat cheese was very, very unexpected.
Hmm.
It took literally the entire a lot of tried and a lot of test
Hmm.
environments for that to get the flavor balanced for it. So it wasn't mostly a very, very infused white truffle because it's very strong with the white truffle. And to get it balanced with the goat cheese, the texture was with the pear, but you have to balance it. So if you put in too much truffle, it's going to taste one way. And if you
Mm.
don't put in enough, it needs, so that's why I had to do many test batches for that. And the salted caramel, that was very different as well too, where it was called a direct and an indirect infusion. So you're indirectly infusing over the salted caramel, and then you take a little tiny bit of truffle and you put it in. That's the direct infusion. If you put too much, you're starting
Uh,
over.
yeah, kind of sounds like rose water. I've watched so many cooking shows. They overdo the rose water every time.
Ooh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a scary one too. Or orange extract for that much as well too. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You
Oh my
can't mess
goodness.
with those.
Well, those
Yeah.
truffles sound amazing. Got to eat them with like the pinky out, right? Because they're just fancy. What a cool
It's a
story, though.
very, very, very interesting, crowd. Yeah, where
Yeah.
they, um, I think what's happening in Oregon and Portland specific for the truffle industry takes my breath away, and I love keeping up with what they're doing.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be back for 2026 with any truffle macarons or?
It's still early days,
Okay.
so we'll see.
Cool.
We'll see. Don't, yeah, it's been so busy with the Christmas season.
Yeah.
And then Kelly, the problem is how would I top last year's?
I know. I know. It was just too good.
Well, I'll
I
have to
know you
figure.
could, though.
Yeah. I'd have to start like that one will take. Maybe let's end the Christmas season and then I
Okay.
can start thinking about what I would do for that one.
Get
I
back to
don't.
the whiteboard. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
exactly.
Okay, beyond macaroons, do you make any other pastries or do you have any just favorites that you love to eat?
So it actually all did start with actually choux pastry, which is what you think of when you make a little cream puff.
Okay, yeah.
Uh, in American terms, a cream puff is the equivalent of what like choux pastry is. And it in French it means petite cabbage, and it still works for a macaron. But I started with those. So when my kids were really, really little, to get them to eat their vegetables, I would make choux puff pastries and put their vegetables in it, and they would eat it.
That's smart. They're
They'd
like,
eat
oh,
it.
this is dessert, but
Yeah,
vegetables.
and I totally tricked them. Um, and that's actually, so we're talking, that's a long time ago, but it was mom's trick to get them to eat vegetables.
So you got really good at making choux pastry, and then the macarons took over.
Truly, yes. So here's as well too, within a a puff pastry, it's got a pretty heavy dairy load to it.
Yeah.
So in certain environments, like if and when I get to ever having it in my own store, then I would have that with because it's got so much dairy to it. And so I have to be still sensitive to that and providing that. For my kids and family, yeah, that's great. But for bringing out and say a market or something like that, that could be a little bit over the top. Yeah.
Yeah. I did see some photos of you making these macaron towers, like the one behind you. Do you also do weddings and big events? Like, tell
Oh
me about some
yeah.
of those
I
events
do.
and special moments.
I just have met some amazing people, young couples that have been it's so wonderful to see. Yes, and in the entire local Portland market, I had the pleasure of doing a few weddings, and I do provide it on the tower. And I customize the colors to the wedding, the flowers or dresses or whatever the motive or the whatever the theme it might be
Uh
for the
huh.
wedding. Most recently, it was blues, so all aspects of a gradiated blue theme. And so, yes, I customize it. I bring it in, set it up, come back, take it down, and I just set it up on varying levels of the that tower behind me, or varying other just smaller towers if it works for if they want it part of a dessert table, or
Mm-hmm.
they want certain things like that. Yeah,
That sounds
that's
like such a fun idea. I think there's the
it's
tower
right there.
right
That picture
there.
there. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Just the ombre of colors
Yes.
is so fun. And I think at a wedding when people just kind of want a small bite, that's a perfect thing. So I
Yes.
love that. It's just so beautiful. I guess I'm curious, how often now do you mess up a recipe because these cookies are so finicky, or are you just kind of mastering every single batch now?
So if it can get late, and it's going to tend to be toward, I do every now and then. And it has to do with um, the usually if I do a chocolate one or
Hmm.
I mess up and I don't measure properly for the fat content, adding fat content to that cookie will destroy it.
Hmm.
I have to be if I it's late and I'm not paying attention. When I first started, I used to put a stopwatch on every movement that I'd make from beginning to end. I'm like, okay, it can't go past, 90 seconds. Okay, can't do too many, can only do 30 stirs. So it had to be so precise that I put literally a stopwatch on. So yes, if I am not paying, I don't use a stopwatch anymore. But if it can get late and I get tired and I'm not paying attention, yes, and it usually has to do with chocolate batches or cocoa batches or milk chocolate.
Interesting.
Yeah, where I go to add the fat content, it'll destroy the macaron instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's that you have to get the right viscosity, like the macronage of the batter. And they
Yeah.
always say to make a figure eight. And I think that's, where I've noticed some of my issues where when they dry, they will still have ridges on top. It's not a smooth surface. So I didn't mix it enough.
Yes.
So something it's just so touchy. It's such a sensitive cookie.
I could tell you a little secret on that one as well
Yeah,
too.
that'd
So
be great.
it's not so much that the figure eight is when you pull up your macronage and you let it drip. So you want it to kind of come down in that figure eight. But
Hmm.
when you're actually doing the macronage part of it, so you're stirring it in the bowl around and then bring it through.
Hmm.
So around and then bring it through. That's actually the macronage part of it. And then you're working toward getting most, but not all of the air bubbles out. And then what you want to do is you want to work toward it flowing off of your spatula or flowing off of your whatever you're using to go through the batter.
Hmm.
So honestly, I don't recommend a spatula. It doesn't give you enough oomph.
Really? So like a big spoon, big wooden spoon then, or
Yeah, I use a flat cake scraper.
Oh, okay. Like a plastic one you can like just get in
Yeah,
there.
it'll really give you that ability to get through there. But then you have to be careful you don't over
Yeah.
macronage.
Yeah.
But you just keep checking and
Yeah.
checking, checking. But don't the figure eight is at the end when you lift
Okay.
up and you're checking to see if it's got a good flow. Then if it gives you the figure eight, then you're there.
Yeah. That's awesome. Great tips. If you over mix it, are you done for? Is that batch probably not gonna come out right?
Correct. You're
Oh
done.
gosh.
Don't even try and bake them.
Yeah, just
Seriously.
bummer.
Yeah, under you're gonna get like a tip on the top of it. Um, and then yeah, under macronage, you're gonna get it like it's gonna be lumpy and
Yeah, lumpy.
gotta get the tip on the top, and you're gonna tell it's not smooth. That's
Yeah.
under macronage. Over macronage, they'll flatten out or they'll crack, or
Well,
they're even.
you must be a pro at just seeing the right level of macronage, because all of these just look so smooth, so perfect. With the foot, it's like just the perfect texture. That's the
Yeah, I'll
goal for
probably make
me.
at least for like right now, since I'm coming into the markets, I'll make it probably at least another 900 to 1,000 today.
Wow.
So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
hammer it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
got a busy day.
like I have right now. I don't know if you saw, like I have. This is what we were showing, like
Oh,
the little
the little reindeer, Rudolph.
reindeers and
Ah,
the little gingerbread man. I don't know if you get to try one of those.
that's so amazing. I love the just the art on them and how you can do different colors. I would never be able to try a two batter type of cookie, like two different colors. It just I'm not there yet, but
Yeah,
leave
I
it to
don't
the pro.
recommend that for the first 50,000.
Yeah, until you got really confident. I'm curious about your frosting. What is your usual like inside frosting like, or do you kind of change up the style of frosting?
I do. I do.
Hmm.
Depending upon the flavors I'm looking to accomplish. Um, for right now, that little gingerbread one that I showed you. So I call it Mom's Mix, but I use about 10 different spices for it,
Wow.
for the actual gingerbread flavor. And then it's a buttercream base for it. But it's all those spices that make that come together on that. And then I most recently, I'm really loving making, creating, and using ganaches. But when the temperature's really hot, ganaches are not my friend, because it's whipped cream based
Mm.
and white chocolate. So with the temperature, it has to be a little bit like if it's under like 50 degrees, I'm okay with bringing it out for a little while. But they taste so much lighter. Um, and there's no butter in it. It just has a little bit more of a chocolate base to it, chocolate flavor to it. But I do like to tone it down as much as I can. I don't really want to add more sweetness to it.
Mm.
But you can be pretty creative with ganaches, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is really experimenting a lot with ganaches.
Oh, that's amazing. I truly think the macaron is one of my favorite cookies because when you get one that's rested, the right texture and chew, and then you can have any flavor you want. If you want the
Yes.
chocolate fix, you can find one,
Yes.
or if you want some delicate flavor like this lavender one or like a lemon, it's just so fun. And I love what you were doing out there. What is next for you as we head into the holiday season and maybe the winter?
Yeah, so good question. Right now, all the Christmas markets, I'm pretty much booked through the end of the year with all of the Christmas events. You'll find me at Salem Holiday Market this weekend, and then Procrastinators, which is the big one right before Christmas. And then, of course, they can always order from me as well too if they have any kind of events. Next year, I'll probably be at the Portland Saturday Market. And right now, as well too, most recent as of even January, I'll be at Vancouver Saturday Market. Love it, love them both. Really great crowds. But that's what I'll be doing short term. I am booked solid through March 30th for those. And then long term as well too, I'd love to be able to offer an imprint corporate imprint on them for companies that
Oh,
would love to
cool.
have something special. Putting company logos on it has been a goal since day one for because it kind of gives back as well too. I can help the other businesses here in Portland.
Yeah.
Is making it a cute like little holiday one. I could put like any kind of logo, black or white or four color on it, and then they can provide it to their customers
Mm-hmm.
for their events or for their employees. I think it's just a great way for to engage with the local companies and then, kind of give back as well too to help support them to grow too.
Yeah. That sounds like an awesome idea. I could just see some KOIN 6 little logos. I would love to hand those out to everybody.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but
Yeah. Like at our holiday party.
there you go. And everybody has holiday. Well, not everybody. Most
Yeah.
companies still do have company parties, or
Hmm.
and you run into them. My background is all corporate. That's what I was previous to pastries and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So into my French pastry degree, I also got an MBA back in Chicago. So that helps with running a small business, is
Yeah, I
having
bet.
that background too.
Well,
Yeah.
you are such an impressive woman. I'm so happy to have met you, and I'm delighted to hear about your expertise in the cookies. And you do such a great job. And I love how busy you are now with all these fairs and markets. And I hope everyone gets to try your
Oh,
lovely
thank you, Kelly.
cookies. So, thank you so much for chatting with me. Is there anything else you want to add before we take off?
Hey, if you want to give me an address, I'll be glad to drop some off for you too.
Oh, I might have to. We would love that. When it come to downtown Portland, we will
Absolutely.
gladly
Yes,
accept these cookies. So thank you again so much for the time, and I hope you have a wonderful time baking today and the rest of the season. And
absolutely.
happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And happy holidays to you as well.
Yeah, awesome.